Hey guys, it's Clay, CPAP My Way, CPAPMyWay.com. Today we are here to revisit the AirSense 11. It has been a minute since we've discussed this CPAP. Been out for quite a few years now, and I'm sure many of you out there are wondering if it's still worth it. Is it better than the AirSense 10, the iBreeze, the Luna G3X, many of which are newcomers to the market. So in this video, we're gonna go over some of the top specifications, the top features of the AirSense 11. We're going to go over whether or not those features and benefits are better than some of the newer offerings. And we're going to help you make a decision as to whether or not the AirSense 11 is the right machine for you. So if you've watched any of the past videos on the AirSense 11, you're probably familiar with many of the features. You've got the auto ramp feature, the auto set feature. One really cool thing about this device is that it is basically 3 CPAPs in one, right? One of the biggest features that's of benefit to my life, because my wife uses this machine every night, is the auto set for her function. So there's a lot of things that make it unique, but I'm not sure that it makes it better when you're actually looking at some of the others. The AirSense 11 is still the quietest at 27 decibels, and it still has some of the top features that make it a little unique. One of the features that jumps out the most on the AirSense 11 is that it is the only CPAP with a color touchscreen. If you're anything like my kids, they don't know what a knob or a button is. So if it doesn't have a touchscreen, they absolutely have no idea how to work it. So to be honest, this is probably leaps and bounds ahead of most of the competition out there that are still using knobs and dials. It is a very simple navigation. It's all touchscreen, very, very user-friendly, and it's definitely gonna make monitoring, operating, and adjusting your CPAP super simple. And the last thing before we get into some of the other competitors here is a real obvious fact. This thing is extremely small compared to a lot of the other devices out there. It also has a really cool adapter that allows you to bypass the humidifier. I'll link a video, a link in the description for you so you can check that out, which really shortens it up to like darn near a travel CPAP size. The others don't really have that option. You know, the integrated humidifiers make it a little bit more difficult to shrink it down. So that is a really cool feature of this one. It's also the lightest. So if you're a traveling person, a person that wants to move around quite a bit with your CPAP, you're probably going to want to still lean towards this one. All right, so before we throw any of these out though, I'd like to go over a little bit of what makes them unique compared to the 11 and why you might actually consider one of them over the 11. I'll start over here with the AirSense 10. The AirSense 10 has been around a long time, and it is the tried and true Resmed CPAP and has been the go-to for doctors and patients for a decade now. It is extremely reliable. It is obviously a workhorse. We have people show up frequently with well over 8 to 10 years of use on these devices. It has many of the similar features that the AirSense 11 does, probably the most notable being the My Air app, which is by far better than the others, to be honest. Resmed really makes a great app. It's user-friendly and definitely gives you the ability to review your data in a meaningful manner. So it has many of the features, but as you can see, the footprint is quite a bit different. You've got a lot more size, a lot more weight, and it is the older model, right? So you have to consider that it's probably going to have an earlier discontinuation of parts and pieces and things like that as the time moves forward. I don't know when Resmed's going to discontinue this, but I would imagine that at some point soon we're going to see this one come off the market. The next unit I want to compare here is the iBreeze. This is what I would call our value brand. So it's going to be the cheapest by far. If you're just looking for a machine that is affordable, easy to use, gets the job done, the iBreeze is a good option. Where it is going to fall way short of the Resmed AirSense 11 is obviously going to be some of the size differences. It is not a touchscreen, very analog style adjustments there. It also does not have near the ability to look at your data. So if you're a person that really likes to look back on the My Air app or anything to see your data, if you're the guy that wears the Fitbit and you want to check on your sleep and everything else associated with your health, this probably isn't going to be. It's not a techie device, but it is affordable. It works really, really well, and we don't get negative feedback on it. It just doesn't have the bells and whistles of the 11. The last one I wanted to discuss was the Luna G3X. X is important there, right? This unit is the latest from Reactel. This is the latest unit, period. And it has quite a few cool features. It has a pretty good app, pretty good compared to the Resmed. I'm not gonna say it's quite as good, but pretty good. It is still analog, it's not touchscreen. It is a little bigger, and it is significantly heavier. I'll put some of those specification breakdowns in the link in the description so you can look at that a little closer. You can obviously see it has a very different humidifier system, so you're not going to be able to bypass the humidifier like you would on this AirSense 11. And it doesn't have the same upload and download features that the 11 does, which allows it to automatically update on its own. That is kind of a cool feature of this. Everything's driven by software these days, so if there's an algorithm update or anything associated with the back-end software, units like the G3X, certainly the iBreeze, and even the AirSense 10 have to be manually updated via SD card. The 11 updates on its own wirelessly, so you don't even have to link anything. It all works through a cell modem. One part I will point out, since we're talking about the G3X here, is all of these units, I should say the iBreeze, the 11, and the 10, have a 2-year warranty. When they launched this G3X, they announced a 5-year warranty. So it's 2.5 times the warranty of these devices. I think that's super cool, but I will also say that very rarely do any of these machines come back to me before 5 years. So while they may not be warranted as long as the G3X, they don't break down. And I really should knock on wood when I say that, because now I'm going to get 20 breakdowns this week. But we don't like selling products that we have to work on later, right? And all of these fit the bill of a quality product that are not going to be a pain for me or for you in the end when you buy one. So while the 5-year warranty is a super cool add-on, and I think it's probably worth something to a lot of people, especially with the peace of mind part of it, I don't see enough of them break down to make it like a huge deal. So still, the fact that this has a 2-year warranty, to me, isn't like a trump card for the G3X. So I still don't think that really it's a huge consideration in how I would pick between these two. I will say the G3X is a good bit cheaper, probably 20–25% cheaper than the 11. So if you're looking for like that intermediate, has most of the features, has quality, great warranty, but might save you a couple bucks, the G3X probably worth considering. All right, so as promised, I'm going to give you my verdict here on whether or not the AirSense 11 is still the top dog. Short answer is yes. This is what my wife uses every night. I'd be lying if I told you something different. So my wife can choose from any machine she wants and use anything she wants here as far as masks. She uses the, it's funny, the AirTouch F30i, and she uses the AirSense 11 every single night. With that being said, I still think there's room and reason for any of these machines to be chosen. Hopefully I gave you a little bit of a rundown on that. I owe everybody a 2026 review video where I'll do a real good compilation on this. But the 11 to me is still the top choice. It has all the bells and whistles. It's affordable when you're really kind of looking at everything. Maybe you're paying 20% more, but I kind of think you're getting the 20% more features with it. So if you're looking for the best, I think I'd still choose the 11. I will hint though that my Philips rep has been talking to me, and supposedly Philips Respironics is going to be coming back with a machine by the end of this year. If and when that happens, and I'm going to like highlight the if and underline it. If and when that happens, I'll obviously update you guys, and there may be huge benefits to that machine. They've told me maybe it's the DreamStation 2, maybe they have a whole new model. They've been super vague and ambiguous, so obviously I will let you guys know as soon as that comes out, and we'll probably have a full new thought process on this whole concept once Philips has something to show you guys. But overall, we still love the 11. You cannot go wrong buying it, and we think you'll enjoy it. Always keep in mind that anytime you're buying a CPAP machine with us, you don't need to worry about the prescription process. Obviously, that's a huge barrier to a lot of people. We can handle that for you, right? We get you linked up with a doctor and we can get you taken care of. So don't let that be a hindrance. If you're looking for any of these machines from CPAP My Way, we've got your back. I really appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy it, please hit me with the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Like, subscribe, comment, share with your mom, whatever you're supposed to do on these videos. Thank you for watching.